yourself. In this video, you will discover how to let go without getting lost, how to let go without destroying yourself. And perhaps, for the first time, you will understand that the most difficult but most necessary love is the love of yourself. So take a deep breath, because what comes next will confront you, and at the same time, it will heal you. And if you stay until the end, you'll leave here with a clarity you may have never felt before. Ready for this Stoic truth? So come with me. Few things hurt as much as realizing that someone you value never cared about you. You gave him time, attention, care, and, in the end, you were left talking to yourself. This realization can devastate even the strongest heart. But the Stoics warn us unrealistic expectations are the cradle of suffering. And the truth, as cruel as it may seem, is the key to liberation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are sad because you lost something, it is because you thought it was yours." And how many times do we believe that the love of others belongs to us? We expect reciprocity, loyalty, involvement. But we forget that feelings are Stoic philosophy, especially through the words of Marcus Aurelius, contains lessons that seem written for this exact moment in his life. Hard lessons, yes, but deeply liberating. Because the big truth is this: the more you try to keep someone who doesn't care about you close, the more you distance yourself from not guarantees. And not everyone has the same capacity to love as you. Letting go of someone who doesn't care is difficult because you are emotionally involved. You believed, you dreamed, you fulfilled. And now he feels like he's leaving a part of himself behind. But it is not. You are rescuing yourself. You are giving back to yourself the love that was ignored. Attachment is born from the illusion of permanence. We think people will stay, but life, with its fluid nature, shows us the opposite. Accepting that someone doesn't reciprocate is painful, but continuing to insist is self-sabotage. This pain you feel now is the pain of a necessary cut. It's like removing a thorn that was slowly poisoning you. It will burn, yes, but then relief comes. You are not losing something valuable. You are getting rid of what hurt you. Remember, not every silence deserves to be interpreted as a mystery. Sometimes it's just disinterest, and that says nothing about its value. It only says about the emotional incapacity of the other. Don't take this as an offense, take it as clarity. Letting go is not forgetting what you felt. It's stopping begging for something that doesn't come. It's about stopping running after people who don't turn their back on you. You deserve more than someone who is absent. You deserve someone complete, starting with yourself. Love can't last. Attachment, yes. Many times we believe we are in love, but we are only trying to fill a void. The person becomes a symbol of security, affection, stability. And that's what hurts so much when it's gone. It's not just her absence, it's the lack of what she represented. The Stoics saw this clearly. They knew that true love is free. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Love, but do not cling to what is not under your control." And the love of the other never was. You only have control over what you feel, not what you receive. Letting go is looking inside and asking, why do I suffer so much from the absence of someone who didn't value me? Maybe the answer is because you not only loved, but you were holding back. And every bond made of illusion. One day it is broken, and it hurts, but free. Love is not a unilateral sacrifice. It's not about chasing yourself, wearing yourself out, canceling yourself out. Love is exchange, it is presence, it is mutual construction. If you were giving yourself alone, it wasn't love. It was dependency disguised as romanticism. When you understand this, something changes inside you. Stop blaming yourself. Stop thinking you should have done more. And you begin to see loving shouldn't hurt so much. Loving someone who doesn't care is hurting yourself with your own hands. Letting go does not mean not feeling anything anymore. It means stop fooling yourself. It means looking at the situation rationally and saying, it no longer works for me. And this is one of the greatest tests of self-love you can give yourself. You don't lose anything by leaving someone who never had you. You gain space. Space to breathe, heal, rediscover yourself. And maybe a day to truly love and be loved in return. Not because of what you give, but because of what you are. One of the biggest emotional traps is thinking that we can change how another person feels. We think that, with more effort, more presence, or more love, the person will notice us. But the Stoics teach what is out of your control, you must let go. You can't force someone to feel about you what you feel about them. This is not love, it is internal war. Marcus Aurelius said the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are focused on getting the attention of those who don't care, you are giving up your peace in exchange for rejection. And in that there is no victory, just wear and tear. It's liberating to accept that what someone else feels isn't up to you. This takes a weight off your shoulders. You can love someone with all your soul, and yet, that person may not reciprocate. It's not your fault, it's human nature. To let go is to stop trying to control the uncontrollable. It's stopping molding yourself to fit into the hearts of those who don't care. You weren't made to beg for affection. You were made to live with dignity. And that choice starts from within. Every time you insist on convincing someone to love you, you devalue yourself. You tell your unconscious that you need to prove yourself. But true love requires no introduction. It simply recognizes it and remains. When the other person doesn't feel the same way, it's not your responsibility. And there is nothing more stoic than accepting it with serenity. They don't love me. It's okay. Still, I love me. This is the voice of emotional freedom. And she gives you back what you tried to give to someone in vain. Free yourself from the fantasy that love can be forced. Free yourself from the guilt of not being enough. Because true love doesn't need extreme effort. It happens. Flow. And when it doesn't happen, the answer is clear: let it go. Sometimes we insist on not seeing. The person walks away, doesn't respond, ignores. And yet, we look for hidden signs of interest. But as the Stoics said, reality is enough. Don't confuse absence with mystery. Confuse it with disinterest. If anyone wanted to be there, they would be. If anyone cared, they would show it. Constant silences are also words. Words that scream, I don't care as much as you do. And this message must be heard with courage. You don't need elaborate explanations. You need emotional clarity. Reciprocity is not forced, it is perceived. And if it doesn't exist, that's a sufficient answer, no matter how painful it is. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Stop expecting the world to be just." And this also applies to feelings. You may have done everything right, and even then, it will not be reciprocated. Life is not a scale, it is movement. From the moment you accept what is, you stop suffering for what you would like to be. You stop living in denial, and you start living with your feet on the ground. With pain, yes, but with dignity. Do not expect good words from those who treat you with contempt. Behavior speaks louder than any excuse. And when someone shows you how much they care, believe, even if it breaks your heart, you deserve reciprocity, not as a favor, but as something basic. Don't accept crumbs from those who never wanted to feed you. Absence is also an answer, and your freedom begins when you believe that. How many times have you lowered your standards for fear of losing someone? How many times have you tolerated the unacceptable just to avoid feeling rejected? This type of attachment is a silent form of self-destruction, and the Stoics knew it. They taught what you accept again and again becomes your standard. Letting go of those who don't care is, above all, reaffirming your value. He's saying, I respect myself more than I need your attention. It's about setting limits, even if it costs an absence. Because worse than being alone is being with someone who despises you. And this, little by little, destroys your identity. Marcus Aurelius would say that principles cannot be negotiated, and its value is a non-negotiable principle. You shouldn't squeeze yourself into tight spaces to fit into someone's life. Who really cares? Making room? Those who don't care. Ignore it. Every time you put yourself down to keep someone, you lose a part of yourself. And true love begins when you decide to stop it. You are not missing. You are presence, value, dignity. And this does not need to be justified. Of course it hurts to walk away, but it hurts even more to stay where you are not valued. The Stoics believed in the peace that comes from internal coherence. And being with someone who doesn't care is incompatible with self-love. You deserve more. See yourself with the eyes with which you used to see others. See in yourself everything you were looking for in that person. And he decides, I no longer trade my value. Because whoever values themselves, frees themselves. And whoever is freed is reunited. Life is too short to waste it trying to fit into someone's void. Do not negotiate your light with those who live in darkness. Ignite your own presence and walk, even if it's with a broken heart, but with your head held high. Your mind is a temple or a battlefield, and what you decide to think, remember, and feed shapes your reality. Being stuck with someone who doesn't care is allowing your energy to go down the drain. Marcus Aurelius said the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So why give space to those who empty you? Letting go is redirecting your attention. It's time to stop looking at those who turn their backs on you and start looking at who is with you every day yourself. It is not necessary to get lost trying to understand each other. You need to find yourself within yourself. Suffering multiplies when you constantly relive the pain. Every memory, every message reread, every social network visited. It's like touching a wound that was almost healing. And Stoicism teaches, do not feed what weakens you. Disconnecting is an act of self-healing. You won't forget it overnight, but you can choose, every morning, not to feed the absence. The attachment loses strength when you stop watering it. And you begin to free yourself when you plant new thoughts. Thoughts of presence, not loss. Think about everything you have put off because of this attachment. How many opportunities, how many friendships, how many plans. Now is the time to start again. Focusing on what makes you stronger. Focusing on what is within your reach. You don't control anyone's feelings, but you control where you put your attention. And concentrating is the first step towards freedom. There is no room for healing where dependency is still cultivated. Choose to look forward, not back. Letting go of someone you don't care about starts like this, changing your focus, reaffirming your value, taking control of your mind, and choose to be the protagonist of your own story. There's a fine line between fighting for someone and destroying yourself for someone. Many times we persist in dead relationships thinking that it is proof of love. But the Stoics' new virtue is in reason, not in blind attachment. Marcus Aurelius said, do not be attached to what does not cooperate with your soul. And that includes people who only bring you down. Loving is not humiliating yourself. It is not insisting on those who have already shown indifference. You may have good intentions, but if the other person is not willing, the result will be suffering. And you deserve peace, not emotional war. How many times have you tried one more time? How many second, third, and 10th chances did you offer? Persistence became routine, and stubbornness, disguised as love, became a prison. This is not connection, it is self-abandonment. Letting go takes courage to admit, I went too far. It takes maturity to accept that trying harder is not always noble. Sometimes it is counterproductive. Don't blame yourself for trying. You did the best you could, but now is the time to make the same effort, putting all the energy you used to put into others, into your own rebuilding. Unrequited love does not improve with insistence, and lack of attention is not solved with forced presence. The logic of the Stoics is clear: if it does not cooperate with your evolution, it must be left. Even if it breaks your heart, you're not giving up on someone. You are choosing not to give up, and that is one of the wisest decisions you can make. Letting go is recognizing that your life is worth more than misinvested love. And finally, he walks light, free, and at peace. Accepting that someone doesn't care about you is not weakness, it is brute strength. It is choosing to face reality instead of living in an illusion. And that takes more courage than continuing to pretend that everything is fine. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The obstacle is the path." In other words, pain is part of the transformation. Acceptance is the first step towards emotional freedom. You stop trying to understand the incomprehensible, stop trying to change the immutable, and you start to welcome yourself. No guilt, no drama, just truth. Accepting is not agreeing with what happened. It is to stop fighting against what already was. Take a deep breath and say, "It hurts, but it doesn't define me." It's honoring what you felt, but choosing to continue. When you accept it, you begin to heal. The wound is still there, but you stop picking at it. You start to care, to strengthen, rebuild in silence. Life is not about making everything work out. It's about responding wisely to what went wrong. And Stoicism is the roadmap to achieve it. Accept what is, and free yourself from what you thought you should be. You deserve the lightness of no longer carrying this weight. The lightness of not having to justify yourself anymore. Don't even run after him. The lightness of saying, "I accept," and move forward with a peaceful soul. Acceptance is maturity. It's self-love. It is the seed of a new beginning. It's proof that you don't need anyone to feel complete. You are already complete. You only forgot because someone didn't see you. Sometimes we get lost trying to be everything for someone. And when that person leaves, it seems like we take a piece of ourselves with us. But what was gone was never yours. You're still here. And now is the time to rediscover yourself. Who are you without this relationship? What did you like to do before living for others? What dreams have you left aside, trying to fit into a love without space? Stoicism invites us to return to the essence, to what is truly ours. Marcus Aurelius said, "Return to yourself. There is refuge." And maybe you forgot. Maybe you've gotten used to existing through someone's eyes. But you are more than that. You are life, history, strength. Letting go is remembering who you are. It's getting out of someone else's shadow. It's about stopping looking for external validation and start seeing yourself with your own eyes. No filters, no masks. You no longer need to prove your worth, nor try to fit in where there is no space. You need to rebuild yourself, piece by piece, with patience and compassion. Rediscovering yourself is the most beautiful process after letting go. It's about rediscovering old passions, making new decisions, and living lightly. It's about smiling again. For you, and not for someone who is no longer here. Pain opens this path. It's up to you to follow it. You are more than what you lost, more than you needed. You are what you decide to be now. And this new you does not depend on anyone, just your courage to continue. In the end, it all comes down to a choice. Will you continue begging for love where there is none? Or will you choose to love yourself enough to walk away? Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul remains unbreakable when it chooses itself." And that is the most stoic and most liberating decision there is. Choosing you is not selfish. It's survival. It is self-respect. It is ending the chain of emotional abandonment. He's saying, enough. You've already lost yourself too much trying to be enough. Now is the time to find yourself, to raise your head, to wipe away tears and say, "I am enough," even if it hurts. Have you ever felt like you're holding on to a relationship alone? As if the more you give of yourself, the more invisible you become to others? The truth, as painful as it may be, is that not everyone you love will care about you the same way. And continuing to insist on it can be one of the quietest forms of emotional self-destruction. Today I want to show you something that no one taught you. You can let go of someone who doesn't value you without becoming cold, bitter, or insensitive. You no longer need to beg for presence, nor justify the absence. You no longer need to explain. Don't wait for others to realize your value either, because now you realize. And when you choose yourself, everything changes. Pain becomes learning. The void becomes a new beginning, and the love that did not come from outside is born from within. He is born strong, firm, serene. You won't forget it overnight, but you will suffer less. With each choice you make, you will breathe more deeply, you will walk lighter, and you will finally heal. That is why today, in front of the mirror of your conscience, say to yourself, I choose myself. This is the hardest lesson of the Stoics, but also the most beautiful, the one that brings you back. Now that you've come this far, stop for a moment, breathe, and ask yourself, how many times have you stopped choosing yourself, waiting for someone else to do it for you? How many times have you insisted on staying where there was no longer a place for you? Today you learned that detachment is not coldness, it is lucidity. That self-love is not pride, it is emotional survival. And letting someone go is often the deepest way to rediscover yourself. But the big question now is, are you ready to put this into practice? Are you ready to stop giving everything to those who give you so little? Are you willing to change your focus, take control, and rebuild your peace? Are you ready to stop fighting for those who have already given up on you and start fighting for yourself? Because in the end, the most difficult lesson of the Stoics is this: either you choose yourself, or you will remain hostage to the choices of others. If this message spoke to you, share in the comments what touched you the most. Your story can also inspire and help others. It's clear. Subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell to receive more content that awakens the strength that already exists in you. Because every week we are here to remind you you are stronger than you think, and you deserve to live in peace.